by request, bridges without wrist pain. This is a very serious subject because bridges are a golden key exercise. They unlock massive doors to all kinds of potential. But pain is always a limiting factor. Pain is never gonna do you good. Anytime you got pain, you gotta get rid of it because it's gonna hold you back. Now, I used to have a lot of wrist pain in general, but I don't anymore, and I'm gonna tell you how I did it myself. First and foremost, when you're bridging, we have to recognize what direction we're applying force. A lot of times when people do bridges, they treat it kind of like as primarily a pushing exercise. They push their legs down and into the floor. They push their arms down and into the floor, and this acute angle in the wrist right there gets stressed like crazy. You don't want to treat the bridge as a primarily pushing move. There's pushing, but it's not primary push. It's primarily pull. The bridge is meant to be sending force in and up, kind of like you're pinching the floor together. You may need to regress a few steps in the convict conditioning series to get this idea down of putting some force inwards with your upper back and your spinal muscles and so forth to bring the floor together and come on up. And the force, when you are pushing, goes down. Push straight down as much as possible as opposed to spreading the floor. A good test for this that's kind of interesting is try doing this like on a hardwood floor or something when wearing like socks or slippers, and notice how much your feet want to kick out. And you gotta pull them in. It's definitely gonna progress the intensity of your bridges. The second thing we've got to recognize is strength. Strength in a joint, like people like, I've got weak joints, strong joints. There's no such thing as a weak joint. Your joints don't get stronger or weaker. What does get stronger or weaker are the tissues and the muscles that run through the joint that can allow tension to flow through your joints. Because if tension goes through a joint, it's perfectly safe, even if it's an ungodly amount of tension. But if tension goes into a joint and there's a weakness preventing it from going through, then you're gonna have some pain. So strengthen your hands, strengthen your forearms. This is one of the reasons why, again, I'm so critical of doing like a lot of things on push-up handles and so forth, because it doesn't strengthen your hand and your forearm nearly to the same degree. Your wrist should be like your ankle. You should be able to do anything with your hands in any action, and it's perfectly fine. If it's not, it's a sign of weakness, not, it's not natural to do it with a flat palm or any of that nonsense I keep hearing. So towel hangs, finger push-ups, and get rid of the damn push-up handles so that almost all of your exercises are flat palms so you can condition your hands and your wrists. And then finally, we have a flexibility issue. And we have flexibility in the back, the shoulders, and to a certain degree the wrist, but no amount of this is going to fix the issue for you. I mean, if you only come down to here, then yeah, maybe you want to make your wrists a little more flexible, but it's primarily in the back and the shoulder that's holding you back. Here's a technique I use. Take your hands, put the side fist of your hands against the lower part of your head or upper part of your neck, and point your elbows straight up and close in. From there, pull your head back, kind of like you're strengthening the back of your neck, and this will stretch out your triceps, your shoulders, and your back in a way that's very similar to bridges, but in a much more gentle way without putting any sort of stress on your arms or your wrists. And you can practice this many times throughout the day. Opens up the chest, the lungs, even the abs. Very healthy for you, and that should take care of it. So strength, flexibility, and make sure you're putting force in the right direction. Your wrist should be fine and dandy to go from there. Thoughts below. Be fit, live free.